about a comeback? He is sleep. Wow. Okay. I'm sold. I'm sold. I am sold.
Great knockout. And I hope Ceja's
bro, I hope he's okay. He is sleep.
He's still out, Joe. Yeah,
Look, it's exhilarating on one side.
Here, let me mute for a minute. We are here live. Wow, that woke me up. That woke me up. It's history controversy with FightMe360.com. Julio Ceja was looking like he was on his way to get a unanimous decision, maybe controversial decision to some, because looking at the unofficial score for PBC on Fox, Larry Hazard, I was wondering, oh, he's awake. He's with us now. Bro.
Yeah, he's gonna be hurt for a little bit.
And the thing is, how did he muster that power up?
Breathe more freely.
There he is, much better.
Wow. How did he muster that power up after having his body beaten like a drum the way it was? I thought he was going to possibly get stopped. So first round, flash knockdown by Magsayo to Ceja. Ceja started laying the hands, the gloves on him. I'm talking about mean, vicious body work. And I was thinking to myself, you know, Magsayo was going to have to do something about that. And sure enough, he was knocked down later on in the fight. I forgot exactly what round it was, but wow, hold on, let me turn it up. Listen in, please subscribe. It's History Controversy with FightView360.com. I'm in shock. So I do all my videos live and uncut.
Where it looked like Ceja is busting this kid up, and the momentum has shifted. Magsayo came back again, renewed vigor in that round, and he came firing back.
Yeah.
And we will take another look at just what put Ceja out.
Well, here we go. Ceja gave up some ground. Well, that was the end of it. He had gotten hurt already. But if we see
I can't show the whole thing because that's illegal for the people who are going to be in the comments talking shit. But I can show you brief excerpts. Be a fair use. That's the one that put him to sleep. And the thing is, he was landing that punch consistently. He was out. Rolled over, and he like, you know what? I'm going to bed. Tired.
Punches have real length, so he got to watch his feet get in position. Throws the hook, but then he closes in and still is able to jump in. He'll try the hook again, the right hand, and pivot off that right leg.
Yo, that's a big comeback, yo.
Opened up his guard and allowed that to
I'm interested to see the scorecards.
It was a brilliant, but it came so fast, he never saw it. He never saw that right hand land.
Like, he didn't just knock him out, he put him to sleep.
That was truly magnificent.
So let me tell you what's going on.
The way he went through it. Here's
Backflip.
Executed.
Wow.
Perfect. Almost. Well, not perfect.
He was down. He was cut in half.
You know, they're concerned about Magsayo in the corner right now. I can tell you that.
We're going to go back to the ring in a moment.
Ceja.
Ceja just went back down.
Yeah.
So he was up.
Really, I hope he's okay.
And just went back down. So maybe we just.
So let's mute right there. Oh man, I hope he's okay. You know, sometimes when you go to sleep, you know, you wake up, you just be like, you know, let me lay down for a few more minutes. That's what I'm thinking this is. You know, hopefully he's okay. No more hitting the snooze button, buddy. It's time to get up. But listen, yo, this dude, yo, he's dangerous. So here's what's going to be happening. He is now won the WBC Eliminator, from my understanding, to fight for a championship against Gary Russell Jr., current WBC 126-pound champion. Hey, let's turn it up. Please take your time, like the video, subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter at T-Street-Contra, or just look it up. Oh, wait, let's listen in.
National Featherweight Champion Mark Magnifico.
Beautiful comeback. Beautiful comeback.
He had to go through some fire to get that win. Again, we hope for the best with Ceja, who is back on his stool right now. He's standing up, so that is good news.
We're going to talk about the rankings and what's next for Magsayo. Yo.
Again, Ceja looks a little better right now. We'll keep you up to date. Jimmy Lennon looked over at us.
Yeah.
Said, are you seeing this? Because we're in replays, Joe, and we want to make sure that Ceja's okay. But
Jeez.
The doctors are there. If he has to be wheeled out, he will.
Yeah.
But he looks all right as of right now.
He's okay.
We're probably not going to get a post-fight interview.
Let's go back to Kate Abdo.
Oh, we are. Let's listen in. No, we're not. They're not going to give us a post-fight interview, but let's go talk about it. So this is Julio Ceja, now 5-1 with 28 KOs. 28-year-old fighter. Last fight was against Brandon Figueroa when he weighed in at 126.5 pounds, 4.5 pounds over the 122-pound limit. Before that, Guillermo Rigondeaux, who just pretty much ran away from Casimero last week. Another Filipino fighter. Filipinos are, listen, they're doing some big things between Encajas, Magsayo, Casimero. You know, and I know I'm probably missing some more. Donnie Nietes is back. So Mark Magsayo, oh wow, wait, hold on, see if they give us an interview so we can see what he has to say. So he's now 23-0 with 16 KOs, the most impressive knockout of his career right now, and the biggest test of his career against a Julio Ceja. There's Manny Pacquiao right there. Getting ready for Yordenis Ugas. Now, what I was saying is, here's the champions at 126 pounds. You got Gary Russell Jr., WBC. As you can see, Mark Magsayo is there. Now, they were saying earlier in the week at the media events that this was to get Gary Russell Jr. Now, Ray Vargas is still dealing with an injury. I believe he was in a motorcycle accident. Something happened when he broke his leg. So my understanding is that this fight against Ceja was to be the mandatory for Gary Russell, despite him being ranked number 5 right here. By the way, these rankings are from FightView360.com, my personal website. The link is down below in the description box. That is FightView360. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy or on Instagram at T Street Controversy. So Leo Santa Cruz, he's going to have to do something with that belt. You know, he's going to have to vacate. And I'm guessing who's the dude that won it? I forgot the guy's name. That beat Jucan. Lord knows, I forgot the doggone dude's name. Well, anyway, Lee Wood should be the WBA super champ because Leo Santa Cruz, we don't know what he's going to do. And it's been like 2-something years since he defended that title. Kid Galahad is now the IBF champion. Emmanuel Navarrete is the WBO. Now, as you can see, Magsayo is on the PBC side. And there's a lot of guys over there he can fight, but will he get his title shot next? We don't know, especially with these little weird rumors of Gary Russell, you know, from some people on Twitter going around about him possibly moving up to fight, of all people, Amir Khan or whatever the hell is going on with that. But yo, crazy knockout by Magsayo. Shout out to him. Highly impressed, excited. Like, listen, I thought he was going to be finished and maybe not make it out of the fight. Especially after, you know, he slowed down tremendously. But what we've seen is that, like, he carried his power. So shout out to him. Meaning after being battered and being chopped down, he carried his power and was able to get a brutal knockout, put to sleep stoppage. By the way, look at Manny. Crazy. Crazy how far he's come. Please take your time out, like the video, subscribe, and T Street Controversy with 5v360.
And then he landed just before the bell.
Boy. You know, let me go ahead and mute it. I don't really know what I was expecting from this fight, but them motherfuckers look old as shit. And well, okay, I can't say that. Here, let me go ahead and mute it. I can't say that they look like old as shit. You can tell that Victor Ortiz and both Robert Guerrero had long layoffs and battle worn. It was slow inside. Nothing really stuck out. But if I were to give the fight to anybody, and we're here live real time, I would give it to Victor Ortiz. Now, what does this fight mean? I don't know. Maybe the winner goes on to fight Andre Berto again. It would be a rematch for Robert Guerrero. Look at the punch stats. Pause it if you have to. It'd be a trilogy rubber match for Victor Ortiz. Maybe they go on to fight Devin Alexander, who had a bicep injury against Lucas Santamaria a couple weeks ago on regular PBC on Fox. Hell, maybe they fight Adrian Broner. Knowing PBC, one of these guys could be Keith Thurman's comeback fight. Does any of these guys owe Al Heyman some significant money? What was the thought process of saying, you know what? Let's see what fucking Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero's doing. Let's throw them on the card. Originally, the pay-per-view was supposed to be Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas versus Fabian Maidana. Then this fight, but this fight has been bumped up to the co-feature, or excuse me, the chief support. Let's listen to all the particulars. Please take your time out, like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy. The link is right down below in the description box. I want to hear the cards. Let me turn it up.
The winner, Robert the Ghost Guerrero.
Listen, I don't care. I'm not going to say it was a robbery.
That makes sense, doesn't it, Joe? It's that close, 96-94, and just barely for Robert Guerrero, who seemed to do a little more work. Not an awful lot more, but he outthrew Ortiz by 150 punches, so maybe that was enough.
I would
Joe
think
Goose
that
having a conversation here ringside. Again, it was close. What were they saying, Joe?
I think Guerrero,
Santos was
Ortiz did the cleaner work.
And taught him a few things, and he goes, all that inside fighting was, you know, I contribute to you. So, you know, I mean, look, he was giving me a compliment, and I appreciate
nice.
that. Yeah.
But the decision, it seems to make sense. You know, if it swung back the other way, I wouldn't be outraged, but it seemed to make sense.
But the last thing I'll say is it did come down to the last round, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Jeez.
Robert Guerrero with the win, and we're ready for the main event. Let's go back upstairs to Kate Abdo.
They're probably not even going to bother to give those guys any post-fight interviews. The main event is up next. Look, I would go like I would normally do, go look at the rankings and all that type of crap, but really with a fight like this, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Victor Ortiz is going to fight again. Did these guys owe, you know, the creator, founder of PBC, Al Heyman, some money? We saw Luis Ortiz, Chris Arreola in the crowd. You know, I'm just saying, you know, because like what made them do this fight also, there's Yordenis Ugas. Somebody on Twitter says he looked like Franklin. Go look up Franklin the cartoon. Isn't that it? Or Lil Bill. Lil Bill. Go look up cartoon Lil Bill. You know what I'm talking about. They say Ugas look like him. Yeah, they really not going to give them, dude. This is supposed to be the chief support. They're not going to give them no type of interview, no nothing. Damn, we ain't even going to see no highlights.
If you look at Twitter, though, they think he's got no shot.
This glorified sparring match, I guess, because I was hearing rumors and people were saying in the comments that this was originally supposed to be an exhibition. And then I guess Al Heyman called them up, was like, yo, I got some legitimate work for you dudes. I'm going to put you in a Pac versus Ugas, Pac versus Errol Spence card. You know, real barn burner. But for their age, so say for example, right? Victor Ortiz, 32-7 now with 3 KOs. There's Manny Pacquiao, by the way. His last fight was in about 26 months ago, in February of 2018 against Devin Alexander, who fought a couple of weeks ago, by the way.
Do your best. Fight your fight.
Then before that, one fight in 2017, one fight in 2016, one fight in 2015, two fights in 2014. The Jose Zito Lopez fight was in 2012. You know, up and down career. And now it's like, you know, like, honestly, do you really want to see Victor Ortiz again outside of probably getting, you know, knocked out for people who don't like him? Like, what really else can he do? Especially if he couldn't be the victor against Robert Guerrero. And it's no disrespect to Robert Guerrero, but you think that he would have been the favorite and, you know, like the fresher fighter. I mean, this is a fight where none of them did shit. Both of them, they didn't do shit. But Robert Guerrero, now 37-6-1 with 20 KOs, 38 years old. The Ghost, you know, ever since he moved to 147, like he just abandoned. His jab used to be phenomenal, bro. But anyway, Victor Ortiz, his last fight was against Gerald Thomas almost 2 years ago, 23 months ago. Like, bro, and they just pulled this joint out. But all right, let me get ready for the main event. Take your time out, like the video. I am T Street Controversy with FightView360.com. Yeah, you know, he ain't nothing to talk about, but I'm guessing Robert Guerrero's going to fight on. But against who? Against who? It's probably going to be a fight. What are we going to be looking like? Yo, what the fuck made them make that? Let me go look real quick. Because I'm guessing this next fight probably going to be for a ranking somewhere. They're probably going to do him versus Jamal James. But no, that world title's supposed to be getting rid of. Who would they do him against? Let me see. Mario Barrios. He at 147. You think they'd do that? The Mexican War?
Manny Pacquiao will be anything but
Jose Zito
diplomatic
Lopez,
in
I
his
think they would
bout
feed him
against
to a
Yordenis
young
Ugas.
name, though.
While they battle, customers in all 50 states can contend for a share
I'm
of
looking.
$25,000 in our
Let me
free-to-play
see, who
boxing
would they
pool.
feed him to?
And if DraftKings Sportsbook is available in
Let
your
me see,
area,
somebody from
you
140
can bet
move
$1
up.
to win 100 if
I
either
don't
fighter
know. We
lands
can
a
look at it
single
another
punch.
time.
Download any DraftKings
I'm
app.
T-Street.
Enter promo code GLOVE,
Stand on
play
it.
free for 25 grand,
There you
and
go.
win
They're probably going to do that
free.
shit. I'm T-Street Controversy with Fight View 360. My bad. I didn't know that the volume was still playing. My bad. I should have muted it. Apologies. Please subscribe.
He has done enough, and is at the end
Father Time
of a legend.
is undefeated.
This could be a huge upset. Of course,
Let's hope the right man gets the win, the decision. Great career by Manny Pacquiao. I don't think that he's done. The beautiful Jinky, the wife of Manny Pacquiao. Yordenis Ugas. I can't say that I'm surprised. However, here, let me mute it and let's talk for a minute before we get you some highlights. We are live here real time. I'm T-Street Controversy with Fight View 360 and the Vive Network, WBC channel. I have it 8 rounds to 4 for Yordenis Ugas, current WBA Super World Champion. A belt that should have belonged to Manny Pacquiao before coming into the fight. Manny Pacquiao has shown his age in there. Footwork, head movement. You can say it was a late replacement. You can say he was training for, this is Larry Hazard's scorecard, by the way. It's going to be a controversial fight, and especially since Filipino fans, you know, they're so enamored with Manny Pacquiao. I mean, they should be. When they see a guy like me covering a black fighter, in this case, a Cuban black fighter by the name of Yordenis Ugas, they're going to think that I'm just going to come on here and just make up shit, you know, but I'm covering the fight. Look, Manny Pacquiao lost the fight. That right hand, he could not stop it. And the jab, and that hand was going around the guard. You know, it was almost like Manny Pacquiao brought into the hype and went out there, you know, thinking that, you know, Yordenis Ugas is going to be easy work. Now, here was my theory coming into the fight. For those who watch my, for those who don't watch my streams, you may have heard me say many times that if this fight was originally announced and it wasn't Errol Spence, it was a very, very good fight on paper. Yordenis Ugas is a top 5 147-pound welterweight. He can also compete at 154 pounds. He's a big dude. 26-4. Look at the punch stats. Pause it if you have to. Manny Pacquiao threw a lot, but listen, that's 16%. The head movement, the leg, like the footwork, that shit, you know, it's hard being a full-time boxer. You know what? Let me turn it up. Let's listen in. Please subscribe. Take your time out. Like the video. Follow me on Twitter. Let's listen in. This is going to be interesting.
Just over 400. It's of note. Well,
it's going to be interesting to see who won. I turned it down a little bit. But overall, I enjoyed the card. I sat here for the whole card. And
yeah, we go to the ring. Jimmy Lennox Jr.
All right, please take your time out. Like the video. Only takes a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. The judges are in agreement. We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Patricia Morse-Jarman scores about 115 to 113. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Dave Moretti both scored about 116 to 112. All three in favor of the winner and still champion Yordenis Ugas.
These are very good judges.
Right man won.
And they had it 8-4, 8-4, and 7-5. So it was competitive. It was reasonably close. And I think we believe the right man won this fight.
And I think Larry Hazard had it right in terms of that first half of the fight, where Pacquiao probably won the majority of his rounds, because it was certainly mostly all Ugas in the second half of that fight.
Manny Pacquiao, by the way, landed just 16% of his punches against Ugas. As comparison, he landed 19% against Floyd Mayweather. So Ugas...
It was no razzle-dazzle there like it is with Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao, you know, is not the type of guy that's, you know, his strong suit is sitting up, you know, and squaring up with you, you know? Now, is he done? I think that he should walk away, especially since he has presidential aspirations. You know, and I'm pretty sure Jinky probably like, you know what? You know, he's made his money. If it was Errol Spence, I hate to say it for the people who are disappointed, but if it was Errol Spence, it probably would have been worse than this. You know? But let's listen to the post-fight interview. Both of them. Please subscribe. It could be Manny Pacquiao's last.
You came from Cuba. You haven't seen your family at one point when you came here for 9 years. You've had some losses. This wasn't supposed to be you in here tonight. Was it your destiny?
Era destino, tú no tenías que estar aquí en estos momentos, 9 años sin ver la familia, venir aquí a hacer esto, ¿cómo te sientes?
No, estoy emocionado. Ante todo, quiero darle las gracias a Manny Pacquiao por compartir, por pelear conmigo.
I'm very excited, but most of all, I want to thank Manny Pacquiao for giving me this moment in this ring today.
¿Quién una pelea? Fue tremendo competidor como siempre y nada, estoy agradecido con él.
No, definitely, he's a great competitor, but I came in here to show that I am the champion of the WBA, and a lot of respect for him, but I won the fight.
And also, you were landing that jab from the beginning. You started with the double jab, landed to the body. Was that the key to this fight?
La llave de esta pelea fue el jab, el doble jab que demostraste esta noche.
Sí, tenía una buena mano adelante. La trabajé bien. Traté de hacerle caso a mi esquina. Tuvimos solo 2 semanas para entrenar, pero hice el trabajo, gracias a Dios.
No, definitely. That was the lead punch, that double jab. We only had 2 weeks of training, but I listened to my corner, and it all worked out.
Yes, and you know, Pacquiao was adamant that you didn't earn this belt because you were elevated to champion in January, but I think you've earned it now. So what do you want to do next? Who's next?
Bueno, te elevaron como campeón en el mes de enero y decían el lado de Pacquiao que tú no eras el campeón real. Ahora, ¿qué quiere hacer Yordenis Ugas próximamente?
Bueno, yo pienso que voy en el camino que estaba, a unificarme. Ya le gané al que todo el mundo decía que es un campeón. Ahora soy campeón, unificarme.
Now the plan is to unify the title in welterweight. Everybody said that he was the champion. Now they know who the real champion is.
So does that mean Errol Spence?
¿Eso quiere decir que Errol Spence está próximamente?
El siguiente en la lista debe ser, pero estoy pensando porque se recupere.
No, he's the next one on the list that I want to fight, but most of all, I am praying that he recuperates.
Bueno, todos los cubanos estaban viendo esto. Los cubanos salieron masivamente a apoyarme. ¡Patria y vida! ¡Patria y vida!
Life for the Cuban people that came out in massive amounts to come and see me. So for the country and for life.
Patria y muerte no, patria y vida.
Respects to you, respects to you. Congratulations, Ugas. We're going to send it over to Heidi with Pacquiao.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Manny, you took this fight against Yordenis Ugas just 11 days ago. Certainly a different opponent than you were expecting. Was he more difficult than you expected?
Just make adjustment for a few days. So it's good. I mean, that's boxing.
Most definitely. In terms of the jab, you know, that was a weapon that he used. Were you having a hard time finding your timing against it?
I know I'm making a hard time in the ring, making adjustment about his style, and I think that's the problem to me because I didn't make an adjustment right away, and also my legs tight.
Yeah, we saw that you didn't use your legs as much, not as much footwork from you, and not as much head movement from you as well. Was it a matter of tightness? Was that the issue?
Yeah, my legs is so tight. That's why it's hard to move.
Do you think that's father time? 42 years old, still doing this, man, going the distance here against yes, look at this. This crowd is so pumped to be here. They came to see you. What do you want to say to them?
Well, I'm so thankful to the fans so coming here to watch to witness the fight live. I'm really appreciative of your effort to come here. Even despite of this pandemic, you have time to watch live the fight. And I'm sorry that we lost tonight, but you know, I did my best, and I apologize.
Now you know the question that's coming next. Will we see you in the ring again? I know a lot of respect between you. Will we see you fight again?
I don't know. Let's let me rest first, relax, and make a decision if I'm continue to fight or not.
Like a true politician, will you be running for president in the Philippines in May of 2022?
Well, I will make a final announcement next month, and I don't know. You know, I know that I'm facing a big problem in more difficult works than boxing. So, but I want to help the people. I want to help them.
You know, in terms of this crowd, they're all on their feet here standing. Regardless of what you decide to do, there will never be another Manny Pacquiao to stand in this ring. As Brian Kenny said, you are a two-career Hall of Famer.
First of all, to all the fans, I really appreciate of your effort to come here. I hope that in my more than 20 years in boxing, I make you enjoyment and happiness in my career. I mean, you know, that's boxing. I congratulate my opponent, Yordenis Ugas, for making tough tonight and for winning tonight. So that's boxing. Let's face another tomorrow again and plan our future.
Very good. Thank you very much, Manny Pacquiao. It's always fun to see you box. Brian Kenny, we'll send it back to you.
Heidi.
Damn, you know, this could very well be like Manny Pacquiao's last fight. I don't think it's going to be. Maybe he'll be back in an exhibition form, but if he runs for president and if he wins, I don't think legally he's going to be able to do it. You know, I can remember covering Manny Pacquiao fights 10 years ago on YouTube when I first started. And now to see, I've covered like all of these fights since he fought, Antonio Margarito, Plaster in Paris. I barely remember it. My memory is shit. I really lost a lot. But shout out to Yordenis Ugas. No issues with the arm. Jabbed Manny Pacquiao's face off. And you know, you always have to factor in the eye of the tiger. Like when a fighter steps up to the big stage, how they're going to compete. You know, and he did what you're supposed to do against a smaller Pacquiao. Jabbing, 42 years old, keep him at a distance. I really don't care too much, like, about no excuses or nothing. I wasn't going to make no excuses for Ugas if he lost. But one thing I do want to address is there were many that had issues, concerns. We can't hear this because it's something they're talking over it. Concerns about Yordenis Ugas' arm. If a fighter would have stepped on the scale and was walking around like that during fight week, you're going to have some questions. So it was a lot of disrespect, and I dealt with some of it myself on Twitter, where people like, oh, so you a doctor? Like, what do you like, bro? Like, was we not supposed to say something about it? It was a little weird and little shit going on with that this week. But listen, I didn't think Yordenis Ugas was going to win this fight, let alone not like that. However, I did think it was going to be a good fight, and also I factored in Father Time. Now, do I think Yordenis Ugas 5 years ago could have beat Manny Pacquiao? I don't know. It's hard to say. But dude has been good. Now, let's go look at the 147-pound division and talk about what's next. By the way, for those who have been wondering what happened to his eyebrows and why they're saying he's looking like Lil Bill from the cartoon, he's got alopecia and he's lost all of his hair. So he didn't shave his eyebrows. Manny Pacquiao just couldn't do anything. And also, let me bring this up. A lot of people are still going to feel that Yordenis Ugas should have been deducted at least 1 point for low blows. You know, like I'm trying to slice like the knife through the butter of all these potential excuses that everyone's going to come up with, especially the hardcore boxing things, the ones that don't like really like watch boxing all year round, but only Manny Pacquiao, the Filipino fighters. Yordenis Ugas won this fight. And then also I notice a lot of fans, especially when I cover Filipino fights, they like to say, well, look at the person's face. They like to use that. Boxing don't work like that. And this is a case where you can look at Manny Pacquiao's face. He's cut up. So listen, I get it. It's disappointing. But put it this way, right? Here's an analogy. There's two lines. One line Manny Pacquiao won, one line Manny Pacquiao lost. If you think Manny Pacquiao won this fight, you're in the short line. Like, if people had to step, you're in the short line. Now, of course, many thought that Manny Pacquiao was going to win. I did. But come on, man, you got to be honest with yourself. Now, let's go look at the 147-pound division. Errol Spence, to be honest, we don't know when he's going to be back. We don't know when Errol Spence is going to be back. He's got a retina issue. I don't know if it's a tear or if it's a detachment, but it's an injury that's going to put him out at least a year. And then when you're boxing, taking punches to the face, to the eye, you have to be extremely careful. So he owes the WBC and the IBF. Something's going on with Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter. I'm like 60-40, 50-50 that fight's going to happen. Whether it's going to be a purse bid, whether there's something going on where, Terrence Crawford's going to get bought out. But PBC, as a company, with their fighters, Yordenis Ugas right now has just destroyed a lot of plans. Hell, Errol Spence is on social media, like with sad faces because he just lost a shitload of money. A fight with Spence versus Yordenis Ugas, yeah, it's going to be good, but he ain't going to make the Pacquiao money. And then you got Sean Porter, But then, it's 147 pounds. This could be the very last one, ladies and gentlemen. 147 pounds, it's some funky things going on right there. But like I said, Manny Pacquiao, 42 years old, you have to give him credit for stepping in, especially on late notice, to be like, all right, no, I'm not going to fight this dangerous Cuban that's being called a boogeyman. He fought him. But listen, we got to get to the post-fight press conference. I got to go. Please take your time out, like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy. With FightView360.com, we cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.